All right, getting close here.
Okay. Anyway, I'm afraid if I go click some other buttons, I might mess the whole thing up.
No, we're good. We're good. Let's do that. Okay. All right. Well, I've got 10 o'clock on the nose here, gang. I think I'll just go ahead and get things tipped off. Good morning, everybody. This is Tony Frazee, and welcome to today's session with Manhattan Life. I'm the benefits specialist here with Art Jetter and Company. Today, we're very excited to have Mr. Kemp Cole with us for what should be a very informative session. Just want to mention here, before I turn it over to the gentleman here, just a quick reminder, we want to answer any and all questions you have, so feel free to type them in the chat or question box. We're going to make sure and get the answers for you before the end of today's presentation. With that, Mr. Kemp, I'm going to turn this over to you there, sir.
Great, good. I'm proud to be a part of Jetter, and I'm having a little technical difficulty, so I apologize about that, but we can make it through, I think, and hopefully give you guys some nuggets that you can use with your clients today. So we're going to cover two products today as we go along, but I thought I'd give you a quick background on Manhattan Life. They've been around for over 170 years, privately held. I think that's important to know because they make decisions based on their policyholders and their agents, and we don't have to worry about stockholder value. And that's what so many stockholder value companies, they make their decisions on what's best for the stockholder, which doesn't always line up what's best for you. So that's a real point, I think, to make good. That's me, Kemp Cole, and talking about the Manhattan products and talking about Manhattan a little bit more here. We license to sell in every state. Our biggest thing is the agent is king. That's what drives our decisions. Manhattan is made up of all of these different companies, but at the end of the day, it's all Manhattan. Different states you work in, it may be on Standard Life paper, Family Life, Western, or Manhattan, but at the end of the day, everything is Manhattan, and it all happens at their administrative offices. They're in Houston, Texas. They've got about 500 employees, and that's where all administration happens at. These are some of the offices that we have scattered across the United States. Of course, we have a token office in Manhattan, since that's where we originated, hence the Manhattan Life and the Statue of Liberty on our logo. And but we have in the United States, we have a broad swath of coverage and offices and solutions to fit what you need every day. These are the different products that we offer. Today, we're going to focus on individual health insurance or senior solutions. We call them senior solutions, but it could be ages 45 to 89. So it's not just, 65 and over. These are some of the other products that we specialize in, or that my department does. And we've got the Medicare supplement, accident policies, cancer, heart, stroke, dental, vision, hearing. Select is the newest refreshed one. I've got a final expense that's second to none for your healthier clients. The Home Healthcare Select, which we'll cover today, and the Omniflex. And then I've got a little bit of a teaser there. In April or so, we're going to come out with a new hospital indemnity designed especially for the senior market individuals. So right here, Home Healthcare Select. Select just means that's our newest version. We've refreshed it. We've increased the benefits on it, come up with more modern language with it to make sure we're staying up with the marketplace. But as we talked about, issue ages 45 to 89, guaranteed renewable. Our Manhattan e-application, which is the 2.0, it's like an Amazon shopping cart. It's extremely easy to use. The premiums on this policy, On the low end, $20, usually 40, 50, 60, just depending how old they are. The beauty of this policy is it's got 2 knockout questions, and that's what's got listed out there. Are you currently living in a nursing home or assisted living facility? And then are you getting help with your ADLs, activities of daily living? As long as you are not receiving, you're not paying to have somebody take care of you with the ADLs, and you're not living in the nursing home or assisted living, that's it. You qualify. As long as you can answer no to those 2 questions, they're going to issue the policy. You've got a prescription benefit, which we'll get into a little deeper. And then you have several riders that you can add to the policy that enhances the overall benefits there. In here, we'll get into what are the benefits. And the way I like to describe it is you've got 3 buckets of money. You got your home health care services right here at the top. The second bucket of money is your home health care aid. Your third bucket of money is the prescription drug benefit. And each benefit pays irregardless of the other benefit. So they pay in addition to each other, plus they pay regardless of any other insurance. So if Medicare happens to pay, or if they have other insurance that covers, it doesn't make any difference. It's an indemnity. It will pay the client direct. It covers up to 365 days for those people to come in and take care of you. If they're coming in every other day, that 365 stretches out to 2 years. So it's just a per day benefit, and that really is an advantage for your client. You have 3 levels of care that you can choose: the classic or basic policy, the premier or the deluxe. And the premier or the deluxe are 95% of what is sold in the marketplace today. And when you see the rates, you'll know why that's the reason. The way it works, if you have a home health care agency send in a registered nurse, a physical therapist, any of these people, and I'm going to stick with the deluxe benefits. If they send an RN in, we're going to pay $200 a day. It doesn't matter if the bill's $120 or $220, we're going to pay $200 every day that nurse comes in. On average, the bills that I see are usually $90 to $120 on an RN coming in. And so if, let's say they charged you $120, we would pay if you assigned your benefits to the home health care agency, we would pay the agency the $120, and the client would get a check for whatever's left over, which in this case would be $80. So they don't have to go wrestle the home health care agency to try to get the rest of the money. I find that very appealing about Manhattan, the way they do that. And then it pays $200 for all those, $300 for medical social services. When I first got introduced to this policy, I thought, well, that was like Medicaid or something like that. But obviously it's not, since they're paid so much. That's the one that's coordinating the care with the doctor and the home health care agency to make sure that that client is getting the care that they need. Up at the top, you'll see it says $450 under deluxe. What that's telling you is the maximum it'll pay out in any one day is $450. So example of that would be is if you had a home health care nursing come in, a physical therapist and a speech pathologist all in the same day, that's $600 worth of benefit, but you would have maxed out the daily benefit of $450, so they would pay the $450. One other quick example, if you had the nurse come in and a physical therapist come in, that's $400, they would pay the $400. So in addition to that, when you first come out of the hospital, a lot of times they'll assign a home health care aide. And these people up here, they're all licensed professionals to do this work. A home health care aide is not a licensed professional. It's just somebody the home health care agency has set up to come in, cook, clean, run some errands, just kind of help you get back on your feet again. And it'll cover that benefit for 60 days. So on the deluxe, it's $120. And that would be in addition to the home health care people above. So that's a really nice benefit. And then the prescription benefit is kind of the icing on the cake. The Premier Deluxe is $600 a year reimbursement, and the Classic is $300. And the way it reimburses, it's $10 for each generic or $25 for a name brand for each prescription that they have. And so if you went in and they went in, and as long as it's prescribed by a doctor and filled by a pharmacy, even if they had a zero copay, as long as they had that prescription receipt showing that they had it prescribed to them and filled it, we would reimburse $10 generic, $25 name brand. Another example, just to make sure I drive it home, is what if you had a $4 copay? We would still pay $10 for that generic medication or $25 name brand, up to $600 on the deluxe, which is the one we're sticking with using. So I trust that is pretty clear. Restoration of benefits. Makes this policy, it can restore as many times in your lifetime as you can use it. If you go 6 months or 180 days from the last time you were treated to having the treatment start again, whether it's for something else or the same thing, the benefits reset back to zero or back to day one. That's better put. So to give you an example of that, if let's say you broke your hip and you used home health care in January and February, used 60 days worth. And then in November, you went back and had your other hip done and you had another 60 days. Well, it starts back at day one again, going towards that 365 maximum for you to have that coverage again. So it doesn't have to be the hip. It could be a heart event or whatever. If you go 180 days, it resets itself to have a new 365 days of coverage. So let's go to the riders. And you got your annual wellness benefit. If you've got somebody that says, well, I don't take any medication, I'm not sick, how can I use this policy? Well, you go in for an annual exam, don't you? And they all go in at least once a year. $150 for them to have an annual exam. And you've got your accidental death and dismemberment rider you can add to it. I like the home medical equipment benefit. If they're going to put rails up to their house or put some rails in the bathroom, get a toilet seat extension, any of these extra things that they might need because they're receiving home health care, it'll pay $100 for each one of those. Ambulance, $200 a trip, 4 trips a year. It's like $1 a month for this benefit. It's really good. It could be from their home to the hospital, hospital to hospital, the doctor's office to the hospital. Anyway, you get it. It'll pay 4 times a year for them to be transported. And then the accident expense benefit rider, that's another option that you have on there. And let's take a look at the rates. You can see now why I said the Premier and Deluxe are a majority of what everybody works with. So you've got a 65 to 69-year-old on a Deluxe policy, $43 a month. You take that times 12, that's roughly $500 a year. And you probably remember the prescription reimbursement benefit is $600. So they actually, up to age 69, they'll get more money back in prescription reimbursement if they use it than what their premiums cost. Then you just got those 2 knockout questions. One thing I do want to point out is this is attained age rates. This is our only policy that works this way. But attained age means your premiums are based on what your age is today. And so you have age bands every 5 years, you change age brackets. So when you change age brackets, your rates will go up on the policy. So from age 69 to 70. It goes from 43 to 66. So if they were 69 years old, I'd want to make sure my client knew that. And anyway, down at age 45, 50, a lot of those people are looking at this because they're taking care of their parents right now, and they see the need for it. They know they can qualify for it. It's great coverage. You've got over $165,000 worth of home health care coverage on the deluxe for people to come take care of you. But if you use the prescription benefit, it's free. Actually come out ahead. So anyway, and then those 45, 55, 60-year-old people, a lot of them are buying it on themselves and their parents if they get their parents on there. So then you see the rates for the riders, pretty inexpensive. If you do the e-application, it figures all the rates for you. I love it. This plan works for the spin down, so that's a strong factor to it. And anyway, if you got any questions, put them in the chat box, or we'll come to them at the end after I cover the Omniflex. Here are the states that the home health care is approved in. The blue states are the Home Health Care Select, which that's the one we just covered. The states in green have the original home health care, which is very similar to what the Select is. It just doesn't have as many riders available with it. So I'm rolling right into the Omniflex. The Omniflex is a separate policy, and it covers nursing home, assisted living, skilled nursing care, hospice. It's very affordable. It's got simplified underwriting. There's more underwriting on it than there is on the home health care. The home health care is as easy as you can get. They've got the Fast 50. I'll get to explain more about that in a minute. They have the same prescription benefit built into this, but it's a $300 a year benefit, and there's no $600 option. It's just $300. You got your spouse discount at 10%, and then you have 3 different riders that you can add to the policy. Here's how the nursing home benefits work. You go at $10 increments from $50 to $400. You choose an elimination period before it starts paying, 0 to 90, and then you pick the benefit period. So pretty much everybody that goes with this nursing facilities benefit does the 360, but if you're fighting premiums, you can always go with a lesser amount. This policy was designed because most people, if they can afford the long-term care, they can't pass underwriting. And this one has broken down all those barriers to where it's about a third of the cost of a long-term care, and the underwriting is a whole lot simpler to get a person qualified to get it. Other benefits we talked about, you got the $300 prescription, same $10 generic, $25 name brand reimbursement. You've got what they call a Fast 50 on this one. And what it says is if you want to take a 50% benefit, they'll waive the waiting period. And the key to it is it'll pay for spouse, family, or friends. It'll pay for them to come in and take care of you. So that's kind of a difference maker, cutting edge benefits that make us different. Also, the bed reservation, I didn't realize this, but if you wanted to go to a nursing home, you're in the hospital, you know you're going to go straight to a nursing facility. The facility you want may not be open when you get out of the hospital. So we will actually reserve a bed for you 10 days at that nursing facility to make sure you get to the place that you want to go. Has the same restoration of benefits. It just says if you go 180 days without treatment, it'll start back over again. The simple inflation rider starts in the 6th year and increases at 5% every year, simple inflation, to where it doubles, by year 25 there. here are the states that the Omniflex is in, and we're getting more approved all the time. The states that are left are the states that are a little more difficult to get into. So, but we are pursuing them hard. Here's some differentiators with Manhattan versus other companies. Is all of our phone calls into the home office on customer service, they're all a US-based customer service center, and they are Manhattan employees. So I think that's really important. They're English-speaking people, but they also have Spanish speakers. If the client is more comfortable speaking Spanish. The agent resource portal, that's your agent, I call it your home base or your dashboard. And we could do a training on that another day if you're not familiar or comfortable with it. I've already talked about the e-app. It's like an Amazon shopping cart, really easy. You can write multiple policies with one application. And then the next point, the mother's maiden name is the signature. That's huge. So the client doesn't have to click on anything or respond to anything. When you type the mother's maiden name in, that is accepted as their signature. Spanish and English materials, they'll send it out free of charge if you want brochures, hard copies. I forgot to mention this, we'll take paper applications. We don't charge extra for those. And then we'll do the e-app also. Some companies have started charging for paper applications. An I-10 number, we can use that in lieu of the Social Security number, and fast underwriting, that simplified underwriting. In the claims process, Manhattan wants to pay claims, and they try to make it as easy as they can. But you could use snail mail, you can fax it, you can upload it to Manhattan's website, or the best way, in my opinion, you can go to the Apple or Google store and get the app, register the app, and you could take a picture of a claim and file it that way. They've made it to where it's really easy for that client. And we were talking about, Aetna had a policy, and so somebody was asking me what are the differences. Here are some differences between us and the Aetna recovery. Why we're different than what they're offering. So I don't need to read those to you, you can hit it. The simplified underwriting, it's two-tiered, and what this last point is talking about is it asks some questions like, in the last 24 months, have you been treated for a stroke, heart surgery, TIA? And if you answer yes, that does not kick you out of the plan. That would let you be eligible for a $100 a day benefit for any of the home health care, the daily hospital indemnity, or the nursing facility, even if you've got some more severe health conditions. So that's the nice thing is the spouse may be able to get the $400 a day, but the one that didn't think they could get coverage can get coverage. It's just limited to that $100 a day, which is a big deal. There are some resources for you if you want to learn more about Manhattan or how can I get help. And then we have a trip every year. This is where we're going this year. March 31st is the cutoff for this trip. So if you hadn't already started, it'd be hard to qualify this year, but next year they'll have trips in the same, they're going to Sweden, going to Aspen, they got 2 different levels. They're a lot of fun. And with that, I'm under 25 minutes, Tony. So that was my goal. So I left a few minutes for questions.
All right. Well, thank you, Kent. There, yeah, we do have a few questions coming through here. I know, just to clarify, I think when we were on the subject of home health care, just as far as I know, with them to qualify, I know there's just the 2 health questions, but they want to know what about pre-existing that doesn't fit into the 2 health questions on the application with home health care? Is there typically going to be like a pre-existing attached to that, or how does that work?
That's a great question, and I should have covered that. So thanks for the opportunity. You have a 6-month waiting period on anything you've been treated for in the previous 6 months on the home health care policy. The only exception to that is on the prescription benefit. They do not apply the pre-existing condition clause to prescriptions. It cost them more money to see if it was pre-existing or not. So day one, they'll start reimbursing on medication, but on pre-existing conditions, 6-month waiting period.
Perfect. Next question here, just with respect to the restoration, I know that it's available on both plans. I guess by definition, the restoration, does that include pretty much all, if not most, of the benefits, whether it be home health care and or Omniflex? I guess, do you want to elaborate on that? I just know if it restores or if it resets all the benefits.
It resets all the benefits. Yes, if they go 180 days without treatment, all benefits would reinstate back to day one. Let me give you an example of that just to make sure we drive it home. What if they're receiving home health care and then they just quit turning the bills in, but they're still getting home health care? That doesn't count. I mean, they actually have to not be receiving care for 180 days. I'm just trying to make sure everybody caught that. That makes sense?
Yep, I think so. And then now also just a clarification when it comes to Omniflex. A lot of times I'll get agents, this is more from myself than the group out there, but when it comes to Omniflex, clarification on that inflation, because a lot of them will look at it and go, okay, does this pay in full, or do I have to wait 6 years for it to pay in full, or is that just applicable to the inflation package? I guess, can you kind of clarify or add that?
That's a very good question. And this is a 50,000 level foot, overview, so it's hard to dive into everything. But yeah, the way that works is the policy starts at 20% year one of whatever the amount is. And then it goes to 40% the next year, 60, 80, and then 100%. So by the 5th year, you've got the full benefit. And that's when the inflation rider starts, is at the 6th year. If they purchase the inflation rider, then it would start increasing 5% a year after that.
Perfect. Thank you. And let's see now. Another question I've got here for you, Kemp, says, okay, Omniflex is approved in Colorado, but I didn't understand the state map on the home health care plan in Colorado. What home health care product is available in Colorado? Okay,
it's the same home health care product. The only difference is, like I showed, there's 5 riders that you can add to the new one. The old home health care, which Colorado has, only has the ambulance benefit available. And so that's the difference. It's that simple.
All right, appreciate it then. And then let's see, okay. All right, let's see, just checking to see if we have any additional questions here. Anything anybody wants to clarify on? Also, just a brief reminder for those of you, I know we are recording today's session there, of course, because I always get people at the end that are not able to be here that would love to be here. So if anybody would need a copy of today's session or need additional materials or just a private consultation on getting appointed or getting even illustrations, please don't hesitate to reach out. Obviously, the number is right there on the screen. I am just checking to see so far. I don't see any additional questions, but Kemp, I definitely want to thank you for everything today, sir. Excellent presentation. And like I say, I just checking to see if we have anything else left in the chat here. But yeah, if there's no further questions, again, I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. Very informative session here. And again, a special thanks to you, Kemp, for co-piloting today's session. So with that, I guess that's all I have. Unless anybody else anything, you all have a great day. And Kemp, I thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for having me. And I appreciate the partnership with Jetter.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day.
See ya.